Good evening and welcome to the January 21st, 2026 Mercer Island Arts Council regular hybrid meeting. The time is now 5:32 p.m. I'm Jonathan Harrington, Chair of the Arts Council. Tonight's Arts Council meeting is in person at the Mercer Island Community and Event Center, and we are also using video conferencing technology provided by Zoom. The Zoom video of this meeting is being recorded and will be uploaded to the city's YouTube channel later this week. Public audience members may be listening to the meeting by telephone or online. Welcome to all and thank you for joining us tonight. Counselors, please ensure that your microphones are turned on for the roll call. And if participating remotely, please have your cameras turned on. Will city staff please call the roll?
Thank you, Chair. Councillor Young. Councillor Rajagopal.
Here.
Councillor Kratzer.
Here.
Councillor Rock.
Here.
Vice Chair Scone. Chair Harrington.
Here.
Thank you, Chair.
So our first item of business is public appearances. This is the opportunity for anyone to speak to the Arts Council about any item except items requiring a public hearing, any quasi-judicial matters or campaign-related matters. City staff, has anyone signed up for appearances?
Yes, Chair, we have one member of the community making a public appearance in person tonight.
Great.
Chair, do you want to continue? Mr. Harper, I'll go ahead and call you up to the podium when it's time. I mean, you're welcome to stay there, but.
So individuals wishing to speak live during appearances portion of our meeting may do so by telephone, via Zoom, or in person at the Mercer Island Community and Event Center, provided, however, they register their desire to speak with city staff admin at 4 p.m. today. Our city admin staff will call you by name, as we already have, and you will be able to speak. Please speak audibly and state your name and city of residence for the record. Your comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Staff will provide you with a 10-second notice when your time is about to expire. When your time has ended, I will thank you for your comments and move to the next speaker or item of business. City staff, please introduce the first speaker.
Thank you, Chair. Bob Harper. I'm going to just get the camera turned on over there.
Am I going? Okay.
You're good.
Well, I'm here to talk about the pergola again. In reviewing the last meeting, the staff made a presentation that stated that the pergola needed 2 plaques, one for the Space Force and one for the National Guard. Staff estimated the cost of fabricating the new plaques at $1,500 to $3,000 per plaque and approximately $3,000 to $5,000 for installation. There was a vote to accept the recommendation, which had a total estimated cost between $9,000 and $16,000, which is a lot of money, but I have some good news. The National Guard is really a reserve component of the Army. So if you want plaques that represent the 6 branches, you only need 1 plaque for the Space Force. More good news is that you can buy a 12-inch plaque at Bronze Memorials for $909. In terms of installation, it's a piece of metal welded to the plaque and then to the pergola. I would be very surprised if that is beyond the capability of the public works staff. So this looks like a savings of between $8,000 and $15,000 over what was voted. The staff also addressed the cover and stated that the cover was beyond repair and needs to be replaced. The estimated cost for replacement was between $8,000 and $10,000. The staff does not recommend replacing the cover. You voted to accept staff's recommendation and not replace the cover. But it is my impression that everyone just felt this whole thing was getting a little expensive. And if the staff didn't want to do it, well, let's just forget it. Recently, there's been a black mesh cover, kind of jury rigged on the pergola with carabiners and bungee cords. And I think it's really a shame to have an expensive and nice work of art honoring the armed forces and then hang a black mesh cover that is obviously not designed to fit. At your next meeting, I'd like you to reconsider your vote on the cover. I believe that you can replace the cover for less than the top line of the dollar amount that you've already authorized. If you decide not to replace the cover, I think it's better not to have a cover at all as opposed to one that doesn't really fit. Another consideration on this is that this is our nation's 250th anniversary, and the pergola may be a centerpiece for various celebrations in the park. I know the Daughters of the American Revolution are planning a plaque dedication at the pergola, and it
10
would be
seconds.
nice. It'd be a nice reflection on our community to have the pergola looking in top condition. It's last painted 15 years ago, and I think it'd be nice to have it repainted before July 4th. Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. Are there any other appearances?
No, Chair, there are not.
Okay, well then we will move on to the first item on the agenda, which is the staff liaison report and planning schedule update.
Pardon me?
Welcome to Katie Herzog, Recreation Supervisor and Staff Liaison.
Great, thank you so much. I will just share my screen. All right, and we'll get started. Okay, tonight we will start with a few updates. Starting with the gateway installation damage. So the installation at 77th Ave Southeast and Sunset Highway was damaged by a vehicle in October of 2025. The city has filed an insurance claim and is developing a restoration plan for the concrete wall and those gateway figures that you see in the photo. Once restoration is underway, staff will bring reinstallation plan to the Arts Council for review and endorsement. And you can also follow updates about the project at mercerisland.gov/publicart. And just as a quick reminder, we do have a February special meeting where Sarah Bluvis will be bringing this topic to you all. All right, the Dean's Children's Park Site Plan. Progress continues on refining the preferred site plan and report. City staff and consultants reviewed the preferred design at a workshop in January. The project team has also met with Outdoors for All, which is a nonprofit specializing in adaptive and inclusive recreation programs, where they were able to gather inclusive design input for the park. The preferred site plan and report will be coming to the Arts Council at the April meeting for more discussion on art in public places opportunities. All right, and a quick reminder that we do have some boards and commission recruitment underway. We are down one Arts Council member and also a couple Open Space Conservancy Trust members. So the recruitment is now open through February 20th. You can apply at mercerisland.gov or email the city clerk, andrea.larson@mercerisland.gov, if you have any questions or want to highlight these recruitments to any of your friends in the community. Okay, so going back in time a little bit, just to let you know, we finished the year very strong in December with some really great community events. We held the tree lighting ceremony with the amazing talent of the Mercer Island High School Choir and Creation Dance Studio performances. It even snowed that night at Mercerdale Park. We also held the Holiday Makers Market here at the Community Center in partnership with the Chamber of Commerce. We had our holiday party here at the community center, where afterwards on the same night, people walked down to Luther Burbank to view the Argosy ships. The menorah lighting with Shabbat Mercer Island happened at Mercerdale, as well as toy drives with Vineyard Park and the Mercer Island Girl Scouts. So we feel like we really ended the year strong, and now we are really excited to look ahead to our 2026 events. A couple things that are happening now. The Myval gallery show at the community center is up February 10th through January 10th through February 27th. This one is special to us because the art is all highlighting city-owned public art and photography. Tonight is the reception from 5:30 to 7:30, and as part of our agenda tonight, we will be viewing the art gallery and participating in that reception. Myville also has some great art workshops coming up. There's one this upcoming Sunday, as well as one in February and two in March. For more information and to register, you can visit myval.org/classes. And a couple upcoming events. We have partnered again with the Mercer Island Chinese Association. They will use our facility to host the Lunar New Year celebration on Sunday, February 8th. This will take place from 10 to 2. This is the third year, I want to say, that the Chinese Association has put on this event. It is always very well attended by the community, and we're excited to host again here at the community center. And we're also working with the YFS staff to host the Senior Resource Fair once again this year. On March 7th from 10 to noon, we will have vendors of all variety, specializing in senior care, fitness, social opportunities, and volunteer opportunities. Again, all here at the Community Center on February 7th. We also have a really good variety of winter programs for little kids, preschool and elementary school, everything from Music Together to Art and Us. Nancy Stewart hosts Sing with Our Kids every Friday morning and pre-ballet. And Nancy Stewart is also offering free guitar classes. These classes are geared towards parents, grandparents, teachers, babysitters, all to learn songs on the guitar that they can then turn around and teach to kids. She's held a couple already, or one already. She has another one tomorrow and on the 29th, and then on Saturday, January 24th. Just email Nancy at nancymusic.com to register for those free classes. And of course, Open Studio is back with our own Irene Rajagopal. The first Open Studio of the year will take place this Friday, January 23rd. It looks like there will be some color journaling happening. Again, this is a free event at the Community Center from 10 to 11:30 a.m. And then we'll take a quick peek at our planning schedule. So February 18th is the special meeting. Again, Sarah Bluvis will be here to talk about that gateway installation update and also provide an update on the public art donation proposal that was shown to you all at the October meeting. Our next regular meeting will be April 15th, where we will explore more of the Art in Public Places 6-year spending plan. Dean's Children's Art in Public Places opportunities will come forward, as well as, again, talking to our public appearance tonight, the Mercerdale Pergola Plaques Guidelines for Hanging and Maintenance Plan will be brought to the Arts Council. Just to clarify, at the last meeting, you all endorsed us coming back with more information. So you did not actually vote on spending money on the pergola quite yet. So we will come back with all of that in April. Then in July, we have our chair, vice chair elections. We will start the Clark and Groveland master plan work. We'll give you our annual report from 2025. And we will start on the 27-28 City Arts and Culture Work Plan priorities. And in October, there will be an update to the Arts and Culture Comprehensive Plan kickoff, the 2025-2026 Work Plan final update, and then the annual update for Art in Public Places, and the Greta Hackett Outdoor Sculpture Gallery Activation Plan kickoff. So a really good, busy year ahead for the Arts Council. And that concludes the report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So the next item of regular business is to review and consider approving the minutes from the October 15th, 2025 regular meeting. Does anyone have any comments or discussion about the minutes? If no, then counselors may have a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Counselors, please turn on your microphones. Will the city staff please conduct a roll call vote?
Thank you, Chair. Counselor Kratzer,
Approve.
Counselor Rock,
Approve.
Counselor Rajagopal,
Approve.
Chair Harrington.
Approve.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay, so the third item of regular business tonight is the guiding documents workshop, for which we will move to the tables to allow for a workshop style discussion. We welcome Recreation Manager Ryan Daly and Recreation Supervisor Katie Herzog. Okay, so how should we do this?
Thank you. So the chair and I spoke, and we thought a workshop style would create a better environment for you all to be able to talk with one another tonight. So if you want to go ahead and move down to the tables here, we will get started. And we are going to welcome our city clerk, Andrea Larson. She will kick us off with this topic and provide some guidance and clarification on the guidance, really, of how the Arts Council runs.
Raven, are you reading my mind right now?
She read mine because I messaged her.
Good job, city clerk.
I was like, there's no microphones on that table. I won't be able to hear anything that they say, and the recording won't be able to hear anything that is said.
Just turn it on when you want to speak by pushing it up there.
You might grab the stands too, Raven, so then they don't have to hold them.
They're coming.
No worries. I can get started while they're getting settled. Good evening, Arts Council. For the record, I'm your city clerk, Andrea Larson. Ryan and Katie asked me to come talk to you guys this evening and kind of provide a brief overview of how city business operates and how that funnels down into the Arts Council. All business conducted in the city is governed by the laws of the state of Washington, which include the revised Code of Washington and the Washington Administrative Code. City business is also governed by our local ordinances and rules, which are contained in the Mercer Island City Code. And it's kind of a trickle down. So we start at the state, then we go to the city level. Next, we will go to the city council rules of procedure, which guide how boards and commissions are set up and run, which goes into the Arts Council bylaws, which were formed, approved by the Arts Council last in January 2024, I believe. That was one of the first groups in the kickoff of the revised bylaws for all advisory boards and commissions of the city, basing those bylaws off of the city council rules of procedure and basing it so all of our advisory boards and commissions, while the business that you each do is different, how the bodies function and how they interact with staff should be the same. Your bylaws are the guiding document that sets up how the Arts Council kind of functions and conducts its business. And they are a really great resource for you guys when we are looking at how to do the different things but stay within the rules. There are some other things that guide how our business is conducted. One of the RCWs is the Open Public Meetings Act. The Open Public Meetings Act basically says that all business of public bodies must be done in a public forum that is accessible to the public. The city applies this to any city council meeting and any boards and commission meetings when where business is being talked about or conducted. Business is anything that comes before the Arts Council. Within the OPMA, it says that if at least a quorum of the body is discussing an item that is before it, that is considered business. A quorum is a majority members of the body. For the Arts Council, that is 4 members. And it's the OPMA is truly meant to guide our meetings of our advisory boards and commissions, our city councils, and everything to make it so that business is being conducted in a forum that is open and available to the public, to get away from any of those backdoor meetings where decisions are being made outside of the public view, because everything we do for the city is to in service of the community or to serve the community. And we want to stay within those guidelines. We're also guided by the Public Records Act. And Public Records Act states that all records of the city are public records and can be requested. This applies not only to our internal working files, it also applies to emails, texts, social media posts, any of those things. It's part of the reason you're all issued a city email to protect your email from city business being in there. Couple notes on social media. If you are talking about city business on social media as from your position as an arts counselor, that does need to be captured and sent into me, whether it be on Nextdoor, Facebook, Instagram, anything like that. And that's really if you're having a discussion. If you're just sharing, hey, the city's recruiting, that's fine. That doesn't need to be captured. But if you're making content about city business, those are the kind of things that you would need to remember to capture. And while there are all of these guiding rules and principles that we must follow, that doesn't mean that we don't want to encourage the Arts Council to also get to know each other, create that community, develop the relationships. So you can meet with less than a quorum of the Arts Council and get together to have coffee. And all of those things are allowed. It gets tricky once you get to 4 people because then we do have to do it in a public forum. But it's just remembering that while we do have all these rules to follow, there is still the ability for you guys to do stuff within the rules. I think that's what I've got, Katie, Ryan, unless you guys have questions. Happy to answer any questions that the counselors may have.
Andrea, I have a question. You mentioned on social media, essentially posting about Arts Council business or engaging in that topic, and capturing that and sending it to you. Does that include thumbs or likes?
So it would be who liked the post. It would also be any comments on the post.
What if it were to just be the person liking a post?
It wouldn't need to necessarily capture who liked it. Just just a screenshot of the post is sufficient if it was just a post that didn't get comments. Same thing could apply if you are commenting on someone else's post that is about city business and you're commenting from your position as a arts counselor. In that case, you would need to capture the post, your comment, and any comments before and after your comment. That's when it gets tricky because you have to keep checking if there's more comments that come in that are made afterwards.
Can you define posting as an arts council member versus posting as a citizen of the public? Or is it one and the same? Should I just assume it's one and the same?
Like if you're saying I'm posting on behalf of the Mercer Island Arts Council in my capacity, as opposed to, hey, there's an event at the community center for Lunar New Year. Does that kind of make sense? So
Yeah.
it's kind of how you're writing the post and how you're choosing to author it. Are you just sharing something that's going on the island with the people on your social media? Um, or are you like, hey, come get involved with this event that the Arts Council is putting on? So it's kind of how you choose to author it. Because the thing is the public can sometimes have a hard time differentiating. So your safest option is to go, the public may view these kind of posts that relate to this if they know I'm an Arts Council member. Because that's where the laws and litigation would come into things is can the public define? I know that's a kind of wishy-washy answer. I'm sorry.
It's helpful. Thank you.
Any other questions for Andrea? Yeah.
Yeah, on the top, there should be a switch you can push up.
Okay, thank you, Angela. I just have a question, I don't have question now, like in the future, if we have any uncertainty about this kind of questions, who is the contact to?
I would be. You can always email me if you have any quick questions or concerns about OPMA, public records. Is this something we can do within the bounds? I'd ask you to CC Katie just so she's aware of what's being asked, but I would be the appropriate person. If I can't get the answer for you, I would work with a city attorney to get you the answer.
Andrea,
Brian.
do you have any maybe examples or common instances, things to watch out for, just general advice for boards and commissions? It differs a little bit, I think, from city council and in where we can run afoul and as we read through the bylaws, as we read through the fun OPMA literature that you provide, can you just maybe a very quick do and don't, like you highlighted going out for coffee as a group of three is more than acceptable. And I know that when I first became engaged with boards, that was always something that was freaking me out is people going out. But we encourage that interaction. We want our community members coming together. Could you just speak to that briefly?
I think the biggest thing to be wary of is accidentally creating a serial meeting. A serial meeting is where the business is discussed from, and it can happen almost accidentally. So if there's decisions coming before, sorry, let me back up. Serial meeting occurs when person A talks to person B and says, I'm going to vote yes on this. And then person A goes and talks to person C and says, I'm going to do this. What are you going to do? And now A knows what both B and C are going to do. And then a third person of D comes in and tells A again, I'm going to vote this way. And now A knows exactly how all these people are going to vote. And did they just make a decision with the four of them just by one person talking to people? So it's be careful sharing how you're going to vote on something. You can talk about how you feel about it. You can talk about if you're for or for against it, which may infer how you're going to vote. But it's that be careful of fully sharing those things that are going to come to vote before the Arts Council to avoid inadvertently creating a serial meeting. I've seen this happen on numerous occasions in other jurisdictions that it half the time it doesn't, they're not meaning to, they're not trying to. right? They're just trying to figure out how the meeting's going to go. So it's just something to be very cognizant of. That's really an easy one to get caught up because it doesn't have to be talking. It can be through email. It can be through text messages. It could be a combination of all of them. I could have talked to one person. I could have emailed another person. I could have texted the third person, but we still came to a conclusion of what the decision was going to be outside of the public view. That's the biggest don't. The biggest do is get to know each other. Pick up the phone if you're concerned about something and call each other. Um, create the relationships. It'll allow you to work well together and do the great work that the Arts Council does.
You're much better answering questions than I am asking them. Thank you.
Of course. But yeah, I'm always here as a resource for you guys. If as you're working through things, decide that after, only things I would say is if you want to look at bylaws, best time to look at bylaws is after the appointment of new members, which is done by the city council in May for June starts. So that July meeting is always the best meeting to look at that. I will caution you that the staff's opinion is we want to keep amendments to the bylaws minimal. It was a multi-year process to do all the boards and commissions bylaws, and we finally just got them, all of you functioning on the same foundation, and we don't want to change those too much. If there are things that need to be looked at, staff are happy to look at those with you. But any changes would have to go through the city attorney's office as well. The city attorney's office is the final signing matter on bylaws. But my door is always open. You guys are always welcome to shoot me an email or give me a call. Katie can provide you with my contact information. My easy email to remember is cityclerk@mercerisland.gov. That will always make it right to me. But thank you for having me tonight, and definitely reach out if you have any questions.
Thank you, Andrea, so much. We appreciate you being here.
Absolutely.
Okay, I will share my screen again. There we go. Almost. Where did it go? Right here. There we go. Okay. So tonight, what we're going to do is go over just an overview pretty much of the guiding documents that form what the Arts Council is and does. Again, a workshop style where we want open dialogue. You guys can ask any questions, talk to each other openly. We'll do just a quick background, do that overview of those documents. Of course, discussion and questions throughout. We have a slide on just reminders on how to fully succeed as an Arts Council member. And then tonight, as part of our meeting, we will go and participate in the Community Center Gallery reception. There are refreshments in there. You will get to see the city-owned art and photography pieces. We will keep it as part of our meeting, so we're not violating that Open Public Meetings Act that we just learned about. And then we will come back here to officially adjourn the meeting afterwards. Okay, so as you all know, the Arts Council was established as an advisory board with a mission to nurture, promote, and support high-quality arts and culture activities for the community. The council's role, priorities, and practices have evolved in response to community needs, city policies, and the growing recognition of arts and culture over the years. The Arts Council continues to help guide public art, cultural planning, and arts-related initiatives by identifying community needs and establishes priorities to enable the city and community organizations to better serve the diverse needs of the Mercer Island community. So we did touch a little bit with Andrea on the bylaws. She was not kidding when she said it took a lot of work to get all boards and commissions into kind of a uniform bylaws format. This is what defines how the Arts Council is governed and how it carries out its work. In those bylaws, which are linked in tonight's packet, it goes over the duties and responsibilities of the 7-member board, the training requirements that you all need to do when becoming an Arts Council member. There's talk about absences and our regular meeting attendance and how to always let us know if you're not going to attend a meeting. I got a little nervous. We might not have a quorum tonight, but thankfully we did. We run our chair and vice chair elections each July, and part of the bylaws does identify the roles of the chair and vice chair. And the general meeting guidelines are in there, and that includes the department report that we give, you guys approving the last meeting's minutes, voting, all of that can be found in the bylaws. The bylaws also state that you will be active participants outside of our Arts Council meetings, and you're ambassadors for the community. You will attend at least one city arts-related function a year and report back of your experience and observations. Like Andrea mentioned, there will be an opportunity for any proposed amendments to those bylaws. We would do that each July, but prior to that July meeting, we will reach out and ask if anyone has any proposed amendments, so we can work through that. Like she said, the city attorney does need to approve those, and then any proposed amendments do need a majority vote from the Arts Council to move forward.
Can I?
Yes.
Thank you. I just want to touch on the bylaw aspect real quickly, and just kind of, Katie and I had a conversation about maybe what the best process is, as she sort of highlighted. The process that we would go through for that update or for accepting potential amendments is Katie would do a call out probably somewhere around a month ahead of time, give everybody all of the members the opportunity to submit those amendments to staff. We would then put them into a matrix and develop, with the help of the city attorney and the city clerk, staff responses to those that then we would send out with the packet information. So then when the Arts Council comes to their regular scheduled meeting, you would have those amendments and you'd be able to make those as via motion with the full understanding of what the staff response might be. Sometimes the staff response might be 2 thumbs up, looks good, awesome. Sometimes the staff response might be, oh man, this could get us in a whole heck of a lot of trouble, not a way we would recommend going. So that's sort of the process of how we would look for that to move forward.
Any questions? We can kind of take questions as we're moving along to each document, but if anyone has anything they'd like to ask.
So as it relates to bylaws, would it be the Arts Council as a group saying we think we should submit this amendment, or are you saying each individual would provide theirs, whether any other Arts Council member really?
Yeah, so individually, you could make proposed amendments. Like Ryan said, we put them in a matrix that you all would see those proposed amendments, and then you would be voting on each one at that July meeting. So yeah, you all may have a proposed amendment. There may just be a couple, or there might, you might look at the bylaws and think everything looks great. We don't want to, rock the boat here, and we're going to move on as is. But individually, you would make them, and then as a board, you would vote them in by a majority.
I'll add one additional item. You may, as a board, be working through the course of a year. You might be at a meeting like this, and it might pop into your head, gosh, you know what? That might be something we should bring forward. In this atmosphere, in this meeting atmosphere, at the end of the meetings, we have other business and commission or counselor reports. That's a great opportunity. If you wanted to highlight something and take the temperature of the room, it's in the public meeting. It's viewable. That's an appropriate spot to see how good your idea might be, or if other counselors are experiencing maybe the same challenge. So that could be one of the options or the opportunities to to discuss there. Then you can decide when we do the call out or when staff does the call out, whether or not you want to submit that amendment for response and then ultimately putting on the floor. So I hope that helped to answer the question.
All right, moving on. So we just wanted to kind of identify what these staff roles are for the Arts Council. So I know I'm the staff liaison, and that really means that I'm the support services to the Arts Council. We develop the work plans, the schedules, guidelines, procedures, any correspondence or questions you may have. Even to someone like the city clerk, you can always should put me on the CC line so I can keep tabs on what's going on. And then we prepare the agenda, internally here. Ryan is the recreation manager. He oversees all of the recreation department. I put support services in here because I just couldn't list everything that he would do for the Arts Council, but he is kind of the backup staff liaison. He also is the liaison to the Parks and Recreation Commission, so he has a really good feel of what's going on with that board and commission, and then possibly along the way, things that both boards may need to work on something together, or Parks and Rec Commission might have a piece and then Arts Council has a piece, and together we're making decisions. So those are kind of that staff liaison role. Sarah Bluvis is our CIP project manager, and she really maintains the art and public places oversight. So that's why Sarah is at a lot of our meetings and presenting on a lot of things, because she coordinates all the art and public places, the sculptures in our outdoor gallery, de-accession of art pieces, new installations, proposals, all of that. So she will be at a lot of our meetings to discuss a lot of new art or art that needs to be de-accessioned or maintained. And of course, the 6-year work plan, she came and did all of that work with the Arts Council. Raven, of course, is our recreation specialist. You hear a lot from her because she puts all the packets together, emails them always 1 week prior to our meeting dates. She takes the meeting minutes. She runs the hybrid meeting coordination. She sets up these rooms. She gives a lot of support as well to all the boards and commissions for the city. And we have a new council liaison just last night, Julie Shea, who's also a new city council member. She was assigned to the Arts Council as our liaison by the mayor and deputy mayor. And she does just that. She will serve between the city council and the Arts Council. There could be questions you all have for her that she will speak, from a city council member's point of view, or take things back and, tell you what's going on from that perspective, but she will be able to join on our next meetings. All right, next up we have the Comprehensive Arts and Culture Plan. So this really provides a long-term framework to support, develop, and integrate arts and culture into the community. The past one, I guess I don't have a date on here. The past one was done in 2018. Okay, great. So through significant community input and real big collaboration between staff and the Arts Council, this was created in 2018. This really guides the arts and culture in ways to enrich the quality of life and foster a vibrant, creative community here on Mercer Island. This Arts and Culture Plan is formally adopted into the city's overall comprehensive plan, which ensures long-term sustainability. The Arts Council will begin work in October. This needs an update. It is time for an update. And so the work will begin in the October meeting on how we're going to make changes and update that. I see you.
Yeah. You guys I love to chime in. I'll just highlight on the comprehensive arts and culture plan. This also gets referenced in the Parks, Recreation, and Open Space plan. So as you're hearing me say that, you're like, man, these people really love their plans. We do. When we establish these plans, it helps to guide the priorities the Arts Council will set for the bienniums, as Katie's going to talk about here in a second. But it really steers us in a direction, as opposed to utilizing these meetings or this forum as just brainstorming sessions where everything might be changing. This does give us a path forward, that we can be and remain accountable to. So, this will be coming back. Sorry, I think you said it later this year. Yeah, yeah.
And please jump in at any time.
So just a question. So Katie, are you the point of contact then for all the community groups, coordinating all of that, the input from them, as well as activities and events?
Yeah. So my role as recreation supervisors, I oversee the programs that we have and also all of the community events. So the partnered events, like mentioned in the department report, like the Chinese Association, the MyVol art classes, I work directly with them to coordinate those events when we can host at the center, and then programs we can bring on. Especially when there's maybe a gap in what we are able to provide, like art classes, we were able to look to MyVol to do that. We were able to look to a facilitator to bring Open Art Studio to the center, and then coordination of all the city ran events as well.
Okay, I thought so, but I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. Those are a little trickier than our push buttons.
Thank you. Okay, I just want to express again my thanks for the Katie, it's Raven, like to support all the class, especially the open art studio. It was really receive and make the community enjoy a lot. And I hope like next year, this year, coming year, once a month, everyone can participate. And I would think like we are recruiting some new Arts Council members. When those members join the Arts Council, it will be helpful, like share with them about this information
Mhm.
so they can get more prepared.
Yeah, that's a wonderful suggestion. And I'm hoping we can even use, maybe this slide deck of here's what we are, here's what we're doing, and to really get that big picture overview of, like Ryan said, we have a lot of plans, but they are for a reason. And being able to explain to new members the impact they have on these plans as well. So I love that suggestion, and something we really want to step up a little bit. And thank you for Open Art Studio. You are seeing amazing numbers. It's a really great addition, and we're really happy to have it here. And you're planned for the whole year. We saw that schedule.
So this slide deck, will you be putting on the website, or haven't seen it until now? So we're gonna forward it to us. That's great.
Yes, this can be available to all of you, and then also to new members, as they come on board, and we'll be, getting a new member here very soon.
Thank you.
And just one suggestion that I had as I was looking at all these documents is if there was one visual that just kind of showed the interconnections, I think that would be super helpful.
Okay. Write that down.
It was surprising to me, and it's a welcome surprise, just the overlap with the parks and recreation and the events that happen on the island. As I got more involved and understood how interwoven everything is. So I think that's a great suggestion.
Yeah, that's good. And we do want people to come in knowing what they're getting into in a way, right? Like we've got, like I said, a really strong, busy year ahead for the Arts Council. There's a really robust topics that are coming up. And so we want people to know, the importance that the Arts Council is putting into all of these really big plans and really planning for the future here. Which brings us to the City Arts and Culture Priorities and Work Plan. This is established every 2 years. The priorities are set by the Arts Council, And then as staff, we develop the work plan to address those priorities that you have all set. Last October, we did bring the update to you of kind of what has been accomplished so far. Again, it's a 2-year plan, so we're in the 25-26 work plan right now. We'll be bringing the full update, I think I said in October, where you'll see everything, hopefully, that we're checking off fully on that 2-year work plan. This is adopted by City Council as part of the biennium budget. The Arts Council, again, sets the priorities for that 2-year cycle. And then, we develop that plan of how we're going to accomplish those priorities. And then throughout the year, we'll give you updates. I guess I just free-formed this, this slide. But we will start in July on the 2027-2028, which is hard to say, 27-28, arts and culture priorities. So start thinking now about what you want to see for those next 2 years. Certainly take a look again at the 25-26 priorities and work plan, and then be ready for July when we sit down and establish those for the next 2 years. All right. The Art in Public Places 6-year work plan really is a strategy for commissioning, acquiring, and maintaining public art over a 6-year period. In 24-25, the Arts Council drafted that 6-year plan, which was adopted by City Council. The items in the 6-year plan are submitted to the City Council as recommendations by the Arts Council for funding through the 1% for the Public Arts Fund. The work plan outlines 3 components, which is project opportunities, funding, and public engagement. The Arts Council really did a lot of work to get this plan together. There were a lot of special meetings in 2024 and 25 to get it done. You will continue these discussions and adding to the opportunities list at the April meeting. This again is a plan that Sarah Bluvis owns, I guess I'll say. And so when we talk about this, she will be here to guide those discussions with you all.
I just want to highlight, this was great work. From where I sit as the recreation manager, having this document that helps us, we get requests regularly, cool ideas, things like that. This document gives us the opportunity to put those in a place that gets to come back to the Arts Council. We've already put that into action on a couple of items. So makes this group as well as the City Council their jobs easier as we move forward with recommendations. So just wanted to highlight that that time that was spent in this room, lots of hours, were really important for the long-term success of the public art program. So thank you.
Can I?
Yeah, please.
So that was, I voted on that at my first meeting and I was like, oh, deer in headlights, kind of like, whoa, this is a lot. And I didn't want to derail any of the work. I just voted yes because I wanted it to get done so that everybody could move forward. But I had always, I still think about it all the time, especially like the email comes up about the mural for Nancy Stewart, that if there were additional columns, and I think it's a low level of work, cost impact and just like community impact, because there might be some things that have a very low cost and a very high community impact that we could try to prioritize alongside maybe some of those that take a long time, that cost a lot of money, so that it feels like things are happening. But I don't want that to, like that suggestion, I don't want it to create hours and hours of more work.
No,
it's something I've held for a long time. So
yeah, I think it's a great suggestion. And, now that the plan is in place and it's adopted, it will keep coming up at your meetings. So the roundabout donation is a great example. Someone wants to donate it. That actually was listed as a priority to have roundabout art. So now we have a place to really talk about it. But that will be, a document that evolves over those 6 years. Things are going to be added for opportunities or taken away or shifted, certainly with different Arts Council members. So adding columns is certainly not going to derail the work. I think, like you're saying, it would add and help move you guys forward for things. So yeah, that's a great suggestion and something we can look at when that topic comes up, and then just certainly adding it.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Definitely not a derail.
Okay, thank you.
So it's one way of adding things to make suggestions for the 27-28 plan. Is that, like, if you have new things you wanted to add, is that an alternative way of adding to the overall kind of workload of the council?
So when the 6-year plan specific comes up, which again, I think I said she's coming back in July, or I can't remember now. We'll have to pull up the planning schedule again. We will add to it regularly as those ideas and opportunities come forward. So in the past,
I think you mentioned October, so that's when we can add to more columns to our list.
more columns can be added the next time Sarah is here, which
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, February? At our special
February, I don't
meeting?
think she'll bring up the art and public places, but we can talk about that in February with her.
Okay.
And I think
Yeah,
we
if you have new
actually
ideas.
look at the plan. Did I say July?
So, yeah.
You mentioned July 27-28 Arts and Culture Priorities Work Plan, and October update of work plan. So we're talking about
I
two
could-
different.
I'll speak to this real kind of briefly, which is unique for me. So the 6-year work plan, the first 2 years of that are generally the following biennium. So we're going to be going forward with the 27-28 biannual budget. So that's part of our work plan this year, is to develop that budget. When the Arts Council did the work of the 6-year plan, they prioritized things via years. You can always move those around. It's the first 2 years that really matter, because that's the recommendation that we put into the CIP budget. You can, as an Arts Council, what you want to put forward in that 6-year plan and prioritize in those first 2 years is completely at your discretion. That could be new items, that could be existing items that you already determined were important. I would, and we'll go down this path when we get to the 6-year work plan meeting. I would be careful as a board to try to rework those first 2 years every 2 years, if that kind of makes sense. Because what we do is we're looking at that 6-year plan and we're actually putting thought into those first 2 years now, so that we can have all of the information. And if I'm not saying you're going to do this, Chair, but if you came up with some crazy idea that staff weren't aware of at that October meeting, it would be really hard for us to speak to what that art element might be or what the cost impact might be, to provide you with the level of information that you might need as a board to determine a recommendation. So my encouragement is to really work 2 years ahead of time if you have new objectives coming forward. And some of those objectives could be the formulation of an idea, or a broad initiative, roundabout art. It wasn't specified what the artwork would be, who the artist would be, any of that. It was just, we should do artwork in the roundabout. Staff put together a plan, which tends to end up with a consultant or a review or something along those lines. But we can come with those costs. So I hope that kind of helps of how the 6-year plan informs everything as it moves forward.
And I think what Katie was saying, I think she was talking about, let's look at the framework, so
Yeah.
that meal. So would we do that before we talk about the plan, or would we do that at the plan meeting? So what
Yeah, I think at the
Yeah.
plan meeting when it comes, because as community members are bringing their ideas forward, those are always going to be added somewhere in that opportunities page for you all to then say, well, I don't know if we should, really prioritize this now. Again, adding those columns though would help with should we prioritize it? And I can talk with Sarah before, she comes back, but we're always going to be adding any ideas that come to us, like the Nancy Stewart thing. We had someone that recently asked about electrical box art that they've seen in other places. We might look at that and go, that needs to be a priority. How do we get that done? Which then, of course, takes some research and not just financial research, but who owns those boxes and can we put things on them and how long do they last and what's the maintenance, right? All of that goes into it. But you all will be, it's like a living document too with new ideas and suggestions that may come forward. So you certainly can always add those ideas. And then as a board, you will say, well, I don't know. We should maybe look at that in the next couple of years, or it's not going to be at the top of our priority list right now, but it'll always live, kind of in that list.
I
If
would
that
just,
helps.
it does. And I would just add, as a board, you get to determine the criteria that you want to use, and we're along for the ride. So we're happy to make those adjustments in a way that benefits the current board.
Mhm.
Boards obviously change, the demographics change, and it's important. And this document is a living document, as Katie said, that we get the opportunity to adapt that fits the need. And we're talking art, like there's so many different elements and things. It's important not to get pigeonholed in the current criteria. Different projects may have to have differing criteria or ways to view it or look into. So excellent
Mhm.
question.
Yeah, we need a good way of making sure that especially as new members come on and they have great new ideas that they can be considered in a fairly timely manner, because that'll increase the chance we get more better members
Mhm.
too. So we'll get a more vibrant, active council.
Okay, and then this last slide is really just, some tidbits or advice from us. Of course, attending and participating in meetings is the best thing to do. If you do have to miss a meeting along the way, that is always okay. Please just email beforehand so we know who will be here. All communication from us will be sent to your city email. Like Andrea mentioned, that's really for your benefit, so you don't have any public records on your personal email accounts. So please check it regularly. Like I mentioned, we'll always send the packet 1 week prior to our meetings, so you have a week to review it and read it over. If you have any questions about anything in the packet, please email us beforehand. There is a section of the bylaws that state, staff prefer the no surprises rule. So if you have something you want clarification on or question on, we will answer and we'll answer back to the full Arts Council so you can see, someone had this question. Oh, I actually had that question too. And then we will answer it beforehand and we can always, again, revisit it in a meeting. But we want you guys to fully understand, everything we're talking about in our meetings, of course. And engaging with the community and attending our events or programs or any of those arts and culture related things in this community and reporting back really, I think, helps. We're going to be talking about all of the events that are coming up. And we love to hear like, hey, I did go to that. I liked it. Or guess what would enhance that event, right? We're not in a great position to add, events here and there, but we can enhance them in ways that you all see fit. So we love suggestions and ideas. So going to those events can really help us determine, yeah, we do need to shake things up, or we should add an arts, element here or there. So don't ever be shy to let us know. And to Ryan's point that he made, this is your board. These are your meetings. We are here to, like I said, to support and certainly do a lot of that admin work and report back on how we are meeting those priorities. But these are your meetings, and so we certainly want you to feel that way, all the time as we move forward. And we'll give you recommendations or our thoughts and ideas, but we're here for you. Yeah.
If we were to have feedback about an event that we attended, is it best to email it to you or to bring it up as at the end of a meeting when we're just kind of chatting about other items? Is there a best way?
I would say either way, especially since we do meet 4 times a year, there may be a period of time, in between our meetings. So always feel free to email. We do have that council report at the end of our meetings where you can say, I saw this, I went to this, here's what I thought. So either way is great, but certainly don't ever feel like you can't email ideas or advice or suggestions.
Yeah, I really enjoy attending the community events. Like last year, the summer celebration, such vibrant communities and really exciting. So in terms of getting the engagement with the community, I wonder whether like our Arts Council should have a email address, not just our personal email, like a community, if they would like to have any contact or message, they can just go to that, like the General Arts Council email account.
Yes, we do have that, right? We use.
I'm not seeing it
Okay.
grouped together. It looks like it's by individual member.
So
But
I
yeah,
do
we're-
think we had that.
That's a great
Picnics.
idea.
That's-
Kind of.
Yeah, and we can promote that, right? Get that out there.
And that is in line with the Parks and Recreation Commission has a dedicated one. We just learned that the Open Space Conservancy Trust doesn't. We just learned that the Arts Council doesn't either, though I thought they did. Great feedback. I think what that highlights to me is also as you're engaging with the community at these events, bringing that specific information back to us, like, hey, this is a barrier to people being able to engage. That's what we want to tear down.
Mhm.
Like, we want to find more ways that we can engage with the community, enable Arts Council members to do the same. So, yeah, thank you for that. Raven's over there. Look, yeah, she's already
Typing
on
away.
it. We're gonna have an outcome before the end of this.
So how would that be monitored then? That Arts Council general account?
Oh.
Would
Yeah,
the
so
person who first reads those emails.
so typically everyone who is on the Arts Council
You
as
don't
well
get
as staff
CC'd.
would get the email
Oh,
at
okay.
one time.
that'd be
That
good.
group would include all, and
Mhm.
you would read it. And we can talk about replies. Certainly we would. We can always reply as staff if you prefer. I wouldn't recommend everyone replying to the same email. So we can always talk about that beforehand, or, Chair, we could always discuss before meetings, or if something came in where you wanted to reply or staff to reply, we could talk through that.
I'll just add on the Parks and Recreation Commission side, like as I mentioned, they have that email distribution list that goes out to each of the Parks and Recreation Commissioners when an email comes in. Myself, are you on that too? A number of staff are on that as well. It's a great opportunity. It's worked out really well for the Parks and Recreation Commission because people will email that. It works great because it's utilizing them as the forum. Rarely do the individual members actually reply back. Staff does that, but the board and commission members are taking that information in as comment and public feedback. We respond with the operational side of, oh, you wanted more. Actually, this is a real thing. This individual emailed about us having a lack of open gym times in the gym. Sent it to the Parks and Recreation Commission. As an advisory board, they don't have authority over scheduling and things like that, though they can make recommendations and establish priorities. I was able to reply very quickly and say, oh, great idea. You know, we're actually working through the schedule right now. And then I brought a report back to the Parks Commission like, hey, this is how this was addressed. So it's great. It works really effectively when staff is able to make those responses. Where I've seen it go awry is when board or commission members individually start responding back with promises that you can imagine you don't have the full grasp of the schedule for the gym, for example. So I would just caution that, and it's always welcome to reach out to us like, Brian, this doesn't sound right. Are you really running flaming dodgeball in the gym? No, it was just a flickering light. So we're always happy to provide additional context if questions ever come up. Or if you're hearing or seeing something out in the community, the eyes and ears aspect is so important to us as staff. So never shy away from bringing things forward to us. It's so helpful.
So that was all of the presentation. Certainly, if there are questions or, if you think of things later on, please email, and happy to answer any of those questions at any time. But hopefully the overview helps as we move forward and really dive into some of the work this year. And I love the suggestion of, new members coming on, really, showing this exact slideshow of this is really what the Arts Council encompasses. So any other suggestions, please don't be shy.
I have a random
Yeah,
question.
good.
I feel like I should know the answer to this, but I'm pretty sure that my term was short when I applied for the Arts Council. I have no idea when it ends, but I think it's soon. And I'm like, is my seat one of the seats that's ending? Do I need to reapply? Or is it just over and I step away?
You would be welcome and encouraged to reapply because you took over a position. Is that right?
Okay.
So when it ends, there will be an application, right? Because she had a two.
There's a specific amount of time of when you filled the vacancy, and so we'll look at that. We'll touch base with the city clerk as well and
Okay.
get you some firm information. But if
Okay.
you think you're coming up soon,
Yeah,
I
did you
would
have that?
encourage reapplying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will do.
And similar with even if you had your full term, if it ends, you are welcome to reapply for another appointment.
Thank you.
So, unless there are any other questions, the fourth item of regular business tonight is the MICEC Gallery Viewing and Reception. And we welcome Katie Herzog to introduce this activity to us.
Great. So,
Next.
So as a recreation division, we oversee the indoor art gallery here at the community center. And we have found a great partnership with MyVol, who coordinates all of the shows. So they are the ones who find different artists and host receptions. Each gallery show is 6 weeks long. About 6 weeks long. And it's been great. Most times all the artwork is then for sale, and MyVol takes all the sales of that. They had a really great idea and came to us and said, we know that the city owns some art. We know that it's probably in the old city hall building that no one is going into or working out of. What if that was the first show of the year? And it was really kind of a light bulb moment of like, yes, that art is sitting there and no one is getting to see it. So we're really happy that they had this idea. So the show that is currently running is all art that is owned by the city. A lot of it was donated to the city from like our sister city. There's some pieces. And then some of the art was purchased with the 1% funds. You'll see some street banners that are hung, and that was an actual project from a few years ago that the 1% funds paid for, and the banners were hung in town center. And we also have our medallions project, which is a upcoming art opportunity for the new boathouse at Luther Burbank Park. So we have just printouts of what the medallions will look like. And there is a sheet of paper near them that explains the project, and also that we are taking donations for people to donate to get all those bronze medallions at the boathouse. So it's kind of a fun opportunity to see those. Tonight happens to be the reception, which happens for every show. So there are refreshments in the lobby, and we will go as part of our meeting. You're welcome to explore together, explore on your own, ask any questions, talk with one another. We will come back in this room to close out the meeting officially. So it's 7:47. I'm sure a 30-minute viewing is all we need, but we're not in any huge hurry. But we'll say 30 minutes and then we'll come back here and adjourn.
Thank you. Okay, so we would like to see if there's any other business that we'd like to bring up before we close our meeting. And so that's a open question for any of the constables who are here.
I just wanted to mention we were just in the gallery and looking at the city's beautiful art that they have in their collection and meeting with members of MyVol and having some conversations about things that we can do as an arts council and city council and MyVol community to increase the vibrancy and sort of elevate the energy of art on Mercer Island. And thinking about that in concert with the light rail opening and how do we create a destination for people off of Mercer Island and also have those visitors that might be coming for the first time or more often through the light rail to feel welcome and create an opportunity for them to engage with the art. Some ideas that were mentioned were creating a little brochure, having a QR code and welcoming signage within the light rail station or other bus stops that invite people to seek and find the sculptures that are already on Mercer Island. Later, there were some discussions about potentially curating, and this would be an item to add to the 6-year work plan, sort of like a seek and find or an Easter egg hunt in our parks for children. So maybe we commission 10 different artists to create, this is just a random example, 10 red apples that are then hidden in Luther Burbank Park. And it's a much bigger treasure hunt for adults and children alike. Just sort of sharing some of the ideas that were discussed and that could let the art on Mercer Island seep deeper into the community. I don't know if anyone has anything else to add from our conversations.
Yeah, I just like to second, the importance of really understanding the potential positive impact that light rail can have on our community. To open up, as someone who's lived here a long time and brought up, kids here, there's this a kind of insular, kind of almost provincial type of environment that I think a lot affects our children, where it's really important for people to understand we are part of a region. We're not just one kind of island, and that the light rail really makes that very clear. And so anything we can do to facilitate those linkages be good for our families, our children, and also any potential visitors who might come. It'd be good for our businesses because, our businesses really need more. We don't have enough people living on the island to support all the restaurants, businesses that are here. So art can definitely be used as a tool to educate people about what we have to offer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'll just add that I think hearing some of the challenge of getting the word out about all the great things that we do offer here on the island, both for community Mercer Islanders, but also beyond that. And so, beyond just thinking of new art and new things, how do we increase awareness and further promote what we already have?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I second Katie's thoughts, and I would suggest we spend some time to discuss about this in more details and get some results about how to promote the arts in Mercer Island. Especially, I think those are very cost efficiency.
Yeah.
And good results.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of think about the light rail opening, and I know it's not the same experience, and it's never going to be on the same, that they're just very different places. But you take the ferry to Bainbridge Island for a Saturday. Are there people that are going to want to take the light rail to Mercer Island on a Sunday and go into town? And how can we leverage this as an opportunity to just increase our community, increase bringing people in and having an open heart and a welcoming feel for those that aren't on Mercer Island and creating more connections outside of what we already have on the island itself, which is wonderful. And using art as a tool to educate and bring people together.
I think we're gonna have a bigger summer celebration. Maybe.
And I think we like the seating arrangement. So if we can do that in the future, that'd be great. I get the sense that,
Yes.
Mhm.
yeah,
I
that'd be
love
great.
the seating arrangement.
Okay,
So we appreciate you arranging that for us.
I'll write that down.
Okay, any other comments? Okay, so so counselors, does anyone have a planned absence for our next special meeting scheduled for Wednesday, February 18th, 2026?
There is a chance that I may not be able to attend, and if I can attend, it will be remote.
Yeah, February 18th, I will be traveling, but I will try to get online, attend remotely.
Okay, and we do have, we're supposed to excuse absences that we had today, right? So we had two absences. Hannah Yoon and Suzanne Scone. And so commissioners may have a motion to excuse Hannah Yoon and Suzanne Scone's absences from tonight's meeting. A motion?
Motion to approve those two absences?
Second.
Okay, we have we have a motion and a second for that. And so should we move on to a vote? Do we need a vote on that?
Thank you, Chair. Counselor Rock,
Approve.
Chair Harrington,
Approve.
Counselor Rajagopal,
Approve.
Counselor Kratzer.
Approve.
Thank you, Chair.
Motion passes, and so there being no other business to come before the Arts Council, the time is now 7:27 p.m. and the meeting is adjourned. Councilors, please stay seated until city staff has terminated the Zoom broadcast. Good evening, and thank you for joining us.